My name is Ronald Oldfield. I'm 80, sorry. And I come from Sheffield, born and bred. I'm a tenpin bowler. I played for Great Britain and Team England for 17 years. Just one night, we're out with the wife and friends, and somebody says, let's go bowling. And then from that day, I knew I was a little bit better than most, and I hooked on the game. Enjoyable, more or less. I like the competition between different people. And only semi-professional in respect that the prize money that we used to win for tournaments were only sufficient to pay for the next tournament. Very competitive. Yes. Oh, partaken out of hundreds. I've won 103 senior ones, possibly about 40 adult ones. But I never checked them all. The only reason I know I've got 300 senior ones is just someone else keeps a tag on them, and they tell me how many I've won. Mainly, I've won a lot more in the senior tournaments than I did in the adult tournaments. I still won a lot, but not as many as I've in senior ones. I've won 103 senior tournaments since I've been 60. You have to be completely engrossed in what you're doing. You can't have no distractions to enable you to score high. So any distractions tend to affect your scoring. You have to concentrate and block it out as if it's just you and the lanes. There's a science in the way you release it. You've got to allow the fingers to go under the ball and go through the ball. If you don't do that, then you can't repeat, and the ball won't react the same. Repeat, repeat, repeat. You must repeat everything you're doing. Not really. I just have a set rhythm, and you go through the set rhythm every time, without change. And it's when you can string strikes together, and possibly have a 300, and you become. It's very exciting for me. So that's the science, I suppose. 25. I had 2 300s in a tournament in Reims, in France. They're the ones that I remember. I had 2 300s and I won the tournament. Well, the bowling's only part-time. I used to work at an engineering factory, and that was sometimes 7 days a week. But you fitted it in, you're fit then as well. So give it insight in how the ball reacts on the lane, and the drillings that you can have for your bowling ball, for your hand. You can have different drillings to make the ball do different things. The hardest ones is when you go abroad for Team England, when you all the world championships, and you've got Americans, Swedes, Finns, which are very good. They're the hardest. Well, you always feel nervous, especially on the first day, that you have to concentrate 100% on the first day. It's all about concentration and belief in yourself. When I first entered the GB was when you used to have tournaments throughout England ever so often, and you had a ranking tournament, rankings, and you had to be top 12 for the rankings to be picked for Team England. So you'd worked hard all that year to get to the point where you can be selected for Team England. When you put your shirt on for Team England, or Great Britain as it was first off, oh, it's a fantastic feeling. Represent your country. That was when I played for Team England in Barcelona in the European Fives as a five-man team event. The top 5 bowlers from Europe in that tournament from each country went to America to a Popka, all sponsored by Brunswick, to qualify for the Olympics. And there were 5 continents, so there were 25 bowlers, but one had to drop out. The lowest man out of each continent dropped out, and unfortunately it was me. So I didn't go to the Olympics. But all the other 4 that went to Barcelona, went to a Popka, all qualified and went to the 1998 Olympics. It was in Seoul. That was my biggest disappointment in bowling.
Ron Oldfield tells us the highlight of his career was representing his country in the Olympics, where this sport has been an exhibition sport at Los Angeles in 1984 and again in Seoul in 1988 at the World Bowling Federation.
Oh, that was hard work. That was having to play every qualifying tournament for ranking events to get to number 1. But when you get to number 1, then you get invited to Europe to play the European singles. That was in Sunderland, that, when you have a national event. You have singles, doubles, trios and 5-man. And my team won everything. We won the 5-man, we won the trios, we won the doubles, and then I won the singles, and I won the all events. Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't play so well, but I wasn't playing for England then, I was playing for myself. It was a bowling World Cup, individual World Cup. We had to qualify from each country in the world. And that year was Egypt. I qualified twice, once for Northern Ireland and once for Egypt, and that was very, very good. The centre was fantastic, and they did the final outside, 2 lanes built outside in front of the Sphinx, and that was final. That's how the final was run. Yeah, fantastic. Not so good. If I remember, there were 106 players, and I think I were about 30th, if I remember. Oh yeah, you see lots of things when you go around the world. You see lots of different people. I went to Caracas once, and you drive up from airport, where Caracas is at top of mountains, and you've got all the people living on the side of that mountain in little shacks. That changes your outlook on world. Well, with lots of them. Yeah, lots of them, especially when we played for Team England. Because when you went for Team England to play for Team England or Great Britain, you were playing really for your next tournament. So everybody were trying to beat everybody else. So you wanted to come top dog in team. That's the reason I kept him for 17 years. Oh yeah, I played doubles with the same partner for 40 years. And that was a friend from Chester, Nev Robinson. He used to play for Team England as well. And we've kept that over all the years. I've just come second again this weekend in a big tournament, senior tournament. He's as old as me, well, a couple of years younger, that's all. Oh, happy, if you win. If you win and you're driving home from Europe, and you get a lot of respect from people when you get presentation onto the stand when they're presenting all prizes at the end. That's hard to say, really. It's a sport you go to. You've got something to aim at or something to look forward to at the weekends and weekdays. You meet a lot of people throughout the world, a lot of people. Well, my knees are tending to give way now, and I have to support them with and I'm not quite as fast and as good a bowler as I was. Yes, it has, yes. I've had to change the way I've released the ball and the way I bend my knees. I used to bend my knees very low. I can't do that now. No, never not. No, I still enjoy it as much and I'm as keen as ever. I still want to bowl every time I can. Oh, that was fantastic, yeah. It was the second year it had been set up, the Hall of Fame, and I was the second one to be put in. That was a great honour. It gets you, if you can get to a level I got to, it takes you all over the world. There's not many sports can do that. I've been to South America, Europe, all over Europe. Anybody reaching a pinnacle of bowling to bowl for the country, I think there's nothing better. Yes, definitely. Yeah. I won't say we're famous, but it's nice to go in a ball when everybody knows you. And you can go to, I can go all over the world really, I suppose, and people recognise you. So I mean that's very good. I mean I've been on holiday in Turkey, and somebody come up and said hello, Ron, and that's all through bowling.
One of the nicest characters in the game, Ron Oldfield. Nothing seems to faze him for too long.